What's up, everybody? This is Hadi, and TryHackMe released this new boot-to-boot machine, Lookup, and I'll walk you guys through it. So let's just get on with it. I already started the box, so let's just first try connecting to the TryHackMe VPN, and I'll make a directory for Lookup. Let's see if we can ping the IP address. We can. I'm just gonna do nmap basic scan on it, and let's see what ports do we have. So straight ahead, we got SSH and port 80 open. Let's go ahead and see what do we have on port 80. Uh, Seems like it had a domain configured for port 80, and we got our nmap back. So yeah, we do have lookup.dhm, and the reason it's not loading the IP address because I have etc host configured for the previous IP when I was doing the room. So let's just first edit the line. So basically I'm doing is I'm deleting the last line from the etc host file and saving it directly using sed. Now we can go ahead and etc host and edit the file. I gotta take the IP again. Let's just do lookup.dhm, save it, and if I try reloading the page, we we should be able to see it. Or do I load it using lookup.dhm? There we go. So we here have a login page. So let's just try to log in with random admin whatever, and I'm gonna intercept this request in burp. So let's see what do we have. Post, I'll send that to repeater, send it here again, and we see a wrong password. Please try again, and redirecting in 3 seconds. Okay, cool. So that's interesting. We do not see wrong username, right? We just see it's a wrong password. So let's just try changing username to test and send the request again. So now we got wrong username or password. Okay, so most probably in cases like this, it's possible to brute force password, and that's what we're gonna do here. But before that, usually when there is a you know domain configured for the CTF box, I like to you know uh, I like to first for subdomains, and let's just do that. But I don't know, for some reason I wasn't able to find any. User share wordlist seclist discovery DNS, and what was it, subdomains top. Let's just use 5001, and let's filter out for words one. Am I doing something wrong? Oh, I didn't even specify the host. My bad. Host was lookup.dhm. There we go. And we can filter out for size 0 or line 0, words 1, whatever. So till it's running, we can also see it's a PHP application, so we can probably find a page for maybe where we can register, because I think it's login.php where it redirects after we press login. We can maybe find register.php, but it's not the case here, so we can do that. But let's just go ahead and brute force password and username here. So I'm gonna select this and press Ctrl I to move it to intruder, and I'm gonna use Rocky word list, just gonna use 15,000 because it's an easy CTF, and usually in CTFs the password is like among the top 10,000 something in the Rocky, and I'm just gonna save pass.txt and copy that pass.txt in my clipboard, go over there, paste, and let's just start the tag. Let's see what do we have here. So till it's running, we can even do this using Hydra. And you see, we didn't find any subdomain. I tried using several word lists, but for some reason I just couldn't. And that's just weird, but let's just get on with it and use Hydra to brute force our password too and see how we can use that. We can use FOF to brute force it, but let's just go ahead and use Hydra. And we can do lookup.dhm, We're going to use admin username, and password is going to take this from this word list. We're going to brute force http pass form, and it redirects to login.php. Our username is equal to user. It's just a basic syntax how we specify an Hydra pass and our indicator, so that Hydra could indicate or stop when our we get the same, what do we call it? Let's just go to the repeater and copying all this error so that we can get when there's a different response, so we can conclude that okay, this is the right password. And this is very important part in Hydra, and these we can take from like username this and password this. If there would be like some other variable, imagine token is equal to this, and so we can specify it here as token is equal to this is how you can brute force Hydra. So these are just variables where it's gonna put this value and the word list value here. So let's just also add -iv, I to ignore the previous hydra.restore file, and v to just do verbose. And I'm gonna use 64 threads. That's the highest number of threads you can use with Hydra. So let's see, and intruder is running. So let's just go ahead and filter out our regex word, wrong password. What was it? Wrong password, please try again. Let's just do, hold up. Let's just do negative search. So it will only show us the results which do not contain these. So we see password 123, and if we go to the response, it says now wrong username or password. So that's a new response with the admin user, right? We can stop the attack now, and let's see what do we have. So with password 123, it's giving us an orderly response that username or password both are wrong. So that's interesting. So maybe this time the username is incorrect, right? My alarm just went off, sorry. So now what we can do here is let's just go ahead and take the username and press Control I, move Control Shift I to Intruder tab, and let me copy the word list again if I can. Where is it? There we go. Paste. Now we're gonna see if there is a different user access on the system, right? And we can filter out for again response codes, but this time we have a slightly different response, different wrong username or password. So we want to see a result which doesn't contain this. So let's just go back to Hydra, and even Hydra found it. So we have our password here. Now we can do the same for the username. We're gonna specify capital L to take the username from our pass.txt. I think we have it here, and password is password123. We can remove these. Hold up. And also need to edit the response we have, username or password, the successful indicator, right? So let's just do that and see what do we have here. And till it's going in there, let's just wait till it do the process. It was a cool room, and it was refreshing to kickstart the weekend. So I hope you guys can actually learn something from here. Uh, let's see. So it's just wrong username or password till now. I think it's gonna take a while, I guess, because the username is around at something thousands, 10,000 something. I don't actually remember. Um, what can we do till then? Nothing. Just sit here and wait for Hydra or Intruder to crack the username, or so that we can log in. We can try brute forcing GoBuster DNS, lookup.dhm. I don't know why we couldn't just find the subdomain. lookup.thm and wordlist. Let's just use asset not and http subdomains 2024-5, and let's see, we can do 50 threads, 60 threads maybe, and let's just save it in sub.txt. Let's see if we find it using this. It's running. So after we log in, it will redirect us to a different subdomain. So we didn't actually have to brute for a subdomain, but I'm calling brute force. I actually have to fuzz subdomain, but still, we should be able to find it. But for some reason, I just couldn't while first doing the box. So I just went ahead and brute force the username and password combination. And let's see, it's gonna take a while. Are they running at the same speed? Because I just used 64 threads with Hydra. That's interesting. Not sure we would be able to find it because I'm pretty sure asset nodes have one of the best word lists out there. So still, let's see. Let's see who's gonna find it first. See the same response for every request here. Right? Oh, there we go. There we go. We found something. We found Jaws, right? There we go. And Intruder found it too. And for Jaws, we found 302 found instead of, wrong password or username. We can send that to repeater, stop the attack, and discard it. Go to repeater, and if we send the request, it says 302. Let's just go ahead and show response in browser. Let's see what do we have here. And we have a new subdomain, files.lookup.thm, but we couldn't find it using subdomain enumeration, whatever. So let's just go ahead and edit it. Files.lookup.thm. There we go. And I'm pretty sure, let me just show you, opt asset not data automated uh, archive subdomains 4, 5, and let's just grab for the whole word files, and let's just see the top 10 results. You see, we have files subdomain here, but we couldn't find it. And let's just see at what number it is. It's at 178, so it's at 14,000, bro. So I don't know why we just couldn't find it. And if I run it again, there we go. Now we found it just because we had it in Etsy host. That's weird. But never mind, let's just get on with the CTF and see what do we have. So we see some elFinder, looks like a file manager, and we got several files. We got user.txt. Let's just double click and open it, but it looks like something else. Looks like just random words. I don't know. We got credentials.txt. Let's see what do we have here. And we see think and no password. Think is probably the username and password. We can go ahead and try that for SSH. Think lookup.thm and no password. That's wrong. You see, okay, so what do we do next? What can we do next? Let's just take this elFinder thing that's in the title of the page, and let's just use search exploit for it. See if we can find something. So yes, probably yes, we can find there are command execution vulnerability in this elFinder thing, but it's in 2.1.47, and where we can find the, the version of it. So you see this question mark here, if we click it, we see we have the exact same version of it. So if you didn't know where to click for the version, you can just search for how to find elFinder version, and let's see if we find something worth looking into. How can I check current version for elFinder? It's a GitHub issue, I guess, and the user here tells us if we press the blue icon, we can find it. So there you go. That's how you can find it. So we know now we have a RCE exploit. So let's just go ahead and Google about it. elFinder 2.1.47 RCE, and we got exploit DB PHP Connector command injection CVE 2019. Cool. So we can take this Python script, copy it, and let's see. vi rce.py. Let's just change the rc.py to elFinder.py and look at what's it doing. So the payload is just something, I think a PHP RCE. Yep, so it's taking the C to so that we can run any commands on the system and saving it as sexsignal.jpg. So it's just a malicious JPEG file that we are going to be uploading, and it's connecting to the PHP connector minimal.php and specifying a target, whatever, and then running our script and giving us a bash shell basically. Cool. So we just need to Python elFinder.py, and let's just give it the lookup.thm. We need to give it the elFinder URL. So make sure you know that in the subdomain or in the in the like main domain part, host part of the URL, the case sensitivity doesn't matter. You can put the L capital or not. But here, after the like URL path, it does matter if it's a big F or it's a capital F or small f. So make sure of that, you know that. And I think it's Python 2. Uh, no such file or directory. Okay. Uh, I just don't want to edit the Python script and make it work. So let's just search for it again. I think I saw Metasploit here. So we can probably use Metasploit, MSF console, and let's just get on with it. And where is it using payload? It's not using the payload here. Oh, it's using, okay, it's uploading the payload, but what happened? Not quite understanding, but never mind. We can use elFinder to search, and we know it's a PHP connector command injection. There we go. So we can use for, clear the screen. We can check for options, set our host to files.lookup.thm, set our port. It's already configured. We can set. We need to set lhost to our 10.0 IP, so we get the shell there, and it already has the elFinder URI configured, so we can just run, and I think we'll get the shell here. So let's see, we are gonna get a reverse shell on netcat. Don't want to use interpreter, I don't know. That's fine. So let's see. Okay, we got a shell back, and we can drop it into shell. We can use busybox to get shell on our end. 2169.167.1337 and execute bash. There we go. We can see if it has Python 3. Let's just stabilize the shell. Import pdy dot spawn bin bash. There we go. Control Z, fix, and export term is equal to xterm 256 color. Not sure if that is correct, but never mind. I use this term, and There we go. So we are in the same directory we were seeing on the web page. Okay, so let's go to home and see if we have a user. So we do have a think user. Let's just go in the think directory and do ls-la to see what files are there. So we can't read user.txt. There is an ssh folder. We probably can't ls into that. Yep, and there is a passwords file. We can't view it. Okay, never mind. So just the usual, box enumeration and stuff. We can go ahead and run lint piece, or we can just do our manual exploration, like searching for SUIDs. Let's just do that, and let's see what do we find. So, oh, we see a different one. That's not a usual SUID, and I think that's all we need to solve this box. So we can go ahead and see what it is. So it's owned by root, but we can execute it and we can see if it's a Python script, or if it's a script, or it's just executable. So it's just an executable. We can just do pwm and see it says running id command to extract the username and user id. And right now we have id for data user. And okay, so it's reading that file in the use id, like in the home directory for the id user. Okay, so the user it got with by running after the running the id command, it will search for this passwords file, and we know it's in the think user directory. So think user's home directory. So what we can do here, you can find this, you would have been able to find this pwm suid using linpiece, but I'm not gonna run it here. We don't have anything else on the box, so this is it. So what we can do here is, we are already in the temp. Let's just do echo. Let's just do some path exploitation, right? Path hijacking basically. So maybe it's not checking the exact path for id command, right? So which we can do that using which id, and we see this is the correct path to run the id command. But what if we update this path to run our custom id, right? So let's just do echo and echo. Let's just take this whole thing, and or we can just do a simple one. uid is equal to 1000, because by default the user's id is 1000, I think, mostly everywhere. And we can do id, and there we go, chmod plus x id. And if we run our own id command, we see our uid think user right now. And why did I type this whole, why didn't I just type, echo think? Because we just see the output of here. You can confuse this with just like doing the think. But let's just do strings on this suid, sorry, pwm. So if we go above and see the ISO statement of here, hold up, if I'm not wrong, where was it? mm, do I see it here somewhere? Hold up. fscanf, and we can probably reverse engineer this, but I'm not gonna do this. You see this line, this is what it is matching for, the %u and opening of curly brackets, and then at the end looking for curly brackets closed and looking for a number here. So because that's the usual output for id command, so it's just looking for the exact same syntax. That's why if we just do echo think for id command output, it wouldn't be able to, do that thing. I just want to explain that because I was like like brainstorming things, and just mistaken that and was stuck for, a minute or two. So now we have our own id command. We can just do export path variable to look for commands in the temp directory first, and then go to the usual path. Now we just echo path. So now if we run id command just by default, not specifying this script, right? I'm just gonna run id. So it's gonna run our id because it's looking for id command in the temp directory first. That's why. So now if we run pwm, we can see the .passwords file output because now we have our ID of think. So let's just do this and copy all of these all of these passwords for think user. Hold up. Let me just copy these and save them in passwords.txt. There we go. And I'm gonna transfer a script here. We can use curl 2169 167 8000, and we're gonna do, what was that? su brute force. Yep, brute force subf.sh bash. We can specify, I'm not sure if we can specify, hold up. How are we gonna specify its output using, oh, let me just download it. There we go. Now we can use subf to brute force the password for think user think password wordlist passwords.txt and see. There we go. We straight ahead found the password for think user. So it's just like just brute forcing the su command using su command for the password of think user using this word list. It's a tool made by the same guy that made the lint piece. I guess if you just search for subf.sh GitHub, Carlos guy. Yep, there we go. Carlos pull up. So this is the script I'm using right here, and you can go ahead and use this too. It's pretty fast. So let's just do su think. Now we are think user. We can read user.txt. There we go. It's pretty straightforward from here. Let's just do the basic sudo -l and see if we have something, you know, to where we can run sudo command with sudo perm zone. So we do have, we can run a look command using sudo with our sudo password, display lines beginning with the given string. Okay, that's cool. So what we can do here is, with the look command, we can do sudo look and specify our file here. We can do root.txt. We can search for some bit of like IDRSA. So now we have IDRSA for root user. We can read etc shadow file maybe. There we go. Now we got roots hash. And if you didn't know this, we can go ahead and check for GTFO bins. If it has something for look command, we go gtfobins.github.io. Let's just search for look command and we see we can read file if it has a suid or sudo. Here we have sudo, so let's just click on sudo and we see if the binary is allowed to run a super user by sudo, it does not drop the elevated privileges and may be used to access the file system. So we can specify a file to read in elFile variable, and just like we did it, specify the file here directly. So that was the room basically, and we can just go ahead and do IDRSA, copy this IDRSA file. There we go. And okay, so root RSA, I'm going to save it in this file, give it permissions so that my system knows it's me that owns the file, and root lookup.dhm. And now we'll be able to, oh, error in libcrypto. That's weird. What did we do wrong? Oh, we didn't copy it whole. Okay, my bad. Let me just, okay, so we need to copy it from top to bottom. There we go. And now we can do root RSA. There we go. chmod 600 root RSA ssh-i to specify the private key file and lookup.dhm. So now we'll be able to log in as root user on the box and get that root flag. There we go. So this was the box, and there is a cleanup.sh. So there were two, remote code execution exploits for search exploit for elFinder. If you just go ahead and elFinder RCE, Google that, and we would probably see this 2021 RCE that's gonna upload a PHP shell on the box, and gonna give us command execution there, and this is the URL it's gonna upload /files, and this cleanup.sh is running as a cron job. If you run pspy, you could probably figure that out. So that's why that exploit wasn't working. uh, Maybe the room owner wanted us to use an older exploit, the CVE 2019 one. So that was the room basically. And if we go to var www html, we see hold up, let me go back, and we see lookup.thm, we see public html directory, and we see login.php. So here you see there were two valid usernames, but the valid password was only for JAWS. So that's why we were getting that odd error when we were using password123 with the admin user. You know, that was the room, guys, and I hope you really learned something new. I'll see you till next time. So, see ya.